I had to straighten out my shot there for a second. Good afternoon, football fans. Big Al here on this Thursday, September 29th, 2022, or just hours from the start of week 4 of the National Football League. And I'm about to jump on here and give you my week 4 picks straight up and against the spread. The broadcast maps for the Sunday afternoon games and the announced teams for every game on the schedule. But there are a couple of notes I want to get into before we get started. All right, starting off with the Sunday night game with Chiefs and Bucks. The NFL has stated that the game is still on for Sunday night at 8:15 Eastern on NBC in Tampa. However, with everything that's going on with Hurricane Ian down in Florida, the game may possibly be moved to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. So we shall see in the next coming days if they're still going to play the game in Tampa or they're going to move to Minnesota. Also, tonight's Thursday night tilt with the Miami Dolphins and Cincinnati Bengals will be seen locally in Miami on WSFL Channel 39, which is the local CW station, and in Cincinnati on WCPO Channel 9, which is the local ABC station in their market. Now let's talk about the London game on Sunday morning with the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Now the NFL Network will black out the game in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, and New Orleans markets. But the game will be seen locally in the Twin Cities on ABC station KSTP Channel 5 and in New Orleans on CBS station WWL Channel 4. So, if you live in New Orleans, you're going to have a triple header on Sunday. And then the Monday night game between the Rams and Niners will be blacked out on ESPN in both the Los Angeles and San Francisco markets. But the game will air locally on ABC owned and operated stations KABC in Los Angeles and KGO in San Francisco. Now, those are the notes going into this week. Now, let's jump into my picks and the broadcast pairings, plus the maps for all the Sunday afternoon games. Okay, starting off with tonight's Thursday night tilt, the 3-0 Miami Dolphins visiting the 1-2 Cincinnati Bengals. The Dolphins, of course, coming off that big win on Sunday against the Bills, while the Bengals picked up their first win of the season by taking down the Jets in New York. That game is tonight as I'm recording this at 8:15 Eastern Time on Prime Video. Of course, the announcers are Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. The current point spread as I was writing these down at around 11 o'clock this morning was Cincinnati minus 3.5, and the over-under is 48.5. I have the Bengals winning 24-21, this game finishing under the 48.5, and I'm taking the visiting Dolphins to cover the 3.5 points. Now to the Sunday schedule, starting off with the 2-1 Minnesota Vikings off of their comeback win against the Lions, and the 1-2 New Orleans Saints, fresh off a Sunday's setback at the hands of the Carolina Panthers. This game is Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network. And again, it will be blacked out on NFL Network in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, and New Orleans areas. Current point spread is the Vikings minus 2.5, over under is set at 43. I picked the Vikings to win this game 27-20. This game will finish over the total, and I have Minnesota covering the 2.5 points. All right. As for the traditional Sunday afternoon schedule, you've got 9 games in the early window and 3 in the late window. Starting off with the game with the biggest national interest in the early window, or one of them anyway. The 2-1 Buffalo Bills, fresh off of their loss to Miami, and the 2-1 Baltimore Ravens, who came off of their win in Foxborough against the Patriots. So one of these teams will have their third win when all is said and done, unless there's a tie. This is Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And on 506sports.com, looking at the CBS early window, this game is shaded in red. The main CBS stations for this game are WIVB Channel 4, the CBS affiliate in Buffalo, and CBS owned and operated WJZ Channel 13 in Baltimore. This game will be seen in much of the western United States, outside of Southern California and Southwestern Oregon. This game will also be seen across the Northern Plains, much of the Upper Great Lakes region, portions of the Mid-South and the Gulf Coast outside of, say, South Texas, the Florida Panhandle, and northwestern Florida off the Panhandle, plus the eastern seaboard outside of the New York, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh metro areas. And this game will also be seen in both Alaska and Hawaii. The announcers for this game are Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. The point spread for this game is Buffalo -3. The over-under is 51. I picked the Bills to win 31-24. I got this game finishing over the 51, and I'm picking the Bills to cover the 3 points. The next game up is a pair of 2-1 teams, the Chicago Bears at the New York Giants. The Bears won 23-20 last week against the Houston Texans, while the Giants fell at home on Monday night to the Cowboys 23-16. One of these teams will be 3-1 at the end of the day. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and this game on 506sports.com is shaded in blue. The main Fox stations for this game are both owned and operated stations of the network, and that's WFLD Channel 32 in Chicago and WNYW Channel 5 in New York City. Other markets receiving this game include Minneapolis, St. Paul, Omaha, Des Moines, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Madison, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, Hartford, and Providence. The announcers are Joe Davis and Daryl the Moose Johnston. Current point spread is the Giants at -3 and the over-under at 39.5. I have the Giants winning this game 23-14. This game finishing under the 39.5 points, and I have New York covering the spread. All right, next up is the Cleveland Browns at 2-1 and the Atlanta Falcons at 1-2. The Browns, of course, defeated the Steelers last Thursday night, while the Falcons played their second West Coast game in as many weeks as they defeated the Seahawks in Seattle with a very solid ground attack. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. On the 506sports.com website, this game is shaded in orange. The main CBS stations for this game are WOIO Channel 19 in Cleveland and WGCL Channel 46 in Atlanta. The coverage area for this game is pretty limited. It covers this game will be seen in all of Georgia with the exception of Savannah. This game will also be seen in central Alabama, which includes Montgomery, also in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and in northern and central Ohio. So pretty much most of the state of Ohio outside of Cincinnati will be getting this game. The announcers are Andrew Catalan and Tiki Barber. Current point spread is Cleveland -1, over-unders 47.5. I have the Browns winning 27-19. I got this game finishing under the total slightly, and I have the Browns covering that slim 1-point margin. Next is probably one of the biggest games of the week, as the 2-1 and AFC South leading Jacksonville Jaguars visit Jalen Hurts and the 3-0 and NFC East leading Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this game is big for many reasons. Probably the biggest reason is Jaguars coach Doug Peterson, who, of course, led the Eagles to a Super Bowl championship back in 2017. He returns to Philly for the first time as the visiting coach. So that's the big storyline in that game. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS, and this is shaded in yellow on 506sports.com in the CBS early map. Main CBS stations are affiliate WJAX Channel 47 in Jacksonville and CBS owned and operated KYW-TV Channel 3 in Philadelphia. And this is a pretty limited area as well, as this game will be seen across Metro Philly and in Orlando and Jacksonville, plus the Florida Panhandle and Mobile, Alabama. So not that big of a coverage area for this game. The announcers are Spiro Ditas and Jay Feely. Current point spread is Philly -6.5, and the over-under is set at 46 points. This is going to be a high-scoring game, I think, as both teams both top 10 offenses, and they both have top 10 defenses, but I think the offenses will shine in this one. Give me the Eagles 31-27. I have this game finishing over the 46. However, I'm taking the road dog Jacksonville Jaguars to cover the 6.5-point spread. Up next is the 1-2 Los Angeles Chargers, and boy, they come into this game banged up. They've lost Rashawn Slater for the season. Joey Bosa is out for a number of weeks with an injury. Oh, and Justin Herbert still has that rib issue, but he did play last week. They're in Houston this week to face the 0-2-1 Texans, who lost at the gun in Chicago against the Bears 23-20. All right, that's Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And on 506sports.com, this game is shaded in green. The main CBS stations for this game are CBS owned and operated KCBS TV Channel 2 in Los Angeles and CBS affiliate KHOU Channel 11 in Houston. And again, a very limited coverage area for this game. Most of the state of Texas outside of Dallas-Fort Worth, El Paso, and Amarillo will be getting this game. This game will also be seen in Southern California, so that means Los Angeles and San Diego, and in Southwestern Oregon. predominantly in the Eugene market. The broadcast team for this game is Beth Mowins and James Lofton. Current point spread is LA -5, over under is 44. I picked the Chargers to win 28-17, but given what we've seen the first 3 weeks, this can go either way. I have this game finishing just over the 44 points, and I have LA covering the 5-point spread. But again, anything can happen. Next up, you've got the 1-2 New York Football Jets, who is expected to get quarterback Zach Wilson back after missing the first 3 games of the season with that triceps injury that he suffered in the preseason. They traveled to Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh to face also 1-2. And both teams are coming off losses. The Jets losing at home to the Bengals, while the Steelers losing last Thursday night in Cleveland. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS, and this game is listed in blue on the CBS early map on 506sports.com. The main CBS stations are both owned and operated stations, WCBS TV Channel 2 in New York and KDKA TV Channel 2 in Pittsburgh. This game will be seen in the New York, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati metro areas, as well as in Connecticut on WFSB Channel 3 out of Hartford, plus in Western Virginia and in West Virginia, and Eastern Kentucky. The announcers for this game are Greg Gumbel and Adam Archuleta. Current point spread is the Steelers at -3, over under set at 41.5. This is going to be a tight game, I think. I have Pittsburgh winning 21-20. I have this game finishing just under the total, but I have the Jets as the road underdogs covering the 3-point spread of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next up, you've got another battle of 1-2 teams hitting the Seattle Seahawks, coming off of Sunday's loss to the Falcons, and the Detroit Lions, coming off of last Sunday's loss in Minnesota, where they had a double-digit lead entering the fourth quarter, but they they gave it away at the end. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and it's listed on the 506sports.com website in yellow. The main Fox stations for this game are KCPQ Channel 13, Tacoma, Seattle, and WJBK Channel 2 in Detroit, both Fox-owned and operated stations. Other markets getting this game include Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Flint, Michigan, as well as Boise, Idaho, Portland, Oregon, Spokane, Washington, Anchorage, and Fairbanks, Alaska. The broadcasters for this game are Chris Myers and Robert Smith. Current point spread is Detroit -4, over unders 48. I have the Lions winning 27-24. I got this game finishing over the 48-point total, but I have the Seahawks covering the 4 points. As pretty much anyone can score on that Lions defense. Next up are the Tennessee Titans at 1-2. They got their first win of the season last week against the Raiders. And then you have the 1-1 Indianapolis Colts, who also got their first win of the season, upsetting Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. And this game is shaded in orange on 506sports.com. Look under the Fox single map. The main Fox stations for this game are WZTV Channel 17 in Nashville and WXIN Channel 59 in Indianapolis. And this is a limited broadcast area, as there are only 4 other major markets expected to get this game: Louisville, Lexington, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. So this game is pretty much confined to central Indiana, big portion of Kentucky, and eastern Tennessee for the most part. The broadcasters for this game are Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. Current point spread is Indy minus 3.5, over under is 43. But this is going to be my upset of the week. I have the Titans winning this game 26-21. I got the game over the total, and I'm taking Tennessee plus the 3.5. So give me the points in this one. The last early game on the schedule is an NFC East battle, as the 1-2 Washington Commanders visit Jerry World to face the 2-1 Dallas Cowboys, who at last check is still led by quarterback Cooper Rush. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and this game is listed in red. So this is the national game of interest on Fox, since they have just the single header this week. The main Fox stations for this game are both owned and operated stations of the network: WTTG Channel 5 in Washington and KDFW Channel 4 in Washington, or rather KDFW Channel 4 in Dallas-Fort Worth. And much of the country will be in this game, including San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Sacramento, Reno, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Denver, Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City, St. Louis, Wichita, Little Rock, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Memphis, Birmingham, Tallahassee, Orlando, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Cincinnati, Boston, and Honolulu. The broadcasters for this game are Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson. Current point spread is Dallas minus 3, and the over-under is 41.5. I'm taking the Cowboys here, 24-17. This game will finish just under the total, and I also picked Dallas to cover the 3 points. Now to the late portion of the Sunday afternoon schedule, where there's only 3 games. The first of those 3 is the 1-2 Arizona Cardinals at the 1-2 Carolina Panthers. Sunday at 4:05 p.m. Eastern on Fox. All right, this game is shaded in green on 506sports.com. On their main Fox stations for this game are KSAZ Channel 10 in Phoenix and WJZY Channel 46 in Charlotte, both of which are Fox-owned and operated stations. Other markets getting this game include Tucson, Houston, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Raleigh-Durham, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Columbus, and Buffalo. The announcers are Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. Current point spread is Carolina minus 1, over unders 43.5. I'm picking the Panthers to win 23-20, and I hope they come through this time. I have the game finishing under the 43.5 just slightly, and I have Carolina covering the points. Again, I hope they come through this time. If they don't, I'm not picking the Panthers again this year. You heard it here first. All right, now to game 2 of CBS's doubleheader. Some will get the 2-1 Denver Broncos at the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders, Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on CBS. This game is listed in blue on the CBS late map on 5. And this game is airing primarily in the United States, except the state of Arizona. This game will also air in portions of the Central Time Zone from Kansas City, Missouri, and points westward. The announcers for this game are Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. Current point spread is Vegas -2.5. Over unders 45.5. But I'm going against the grain here and taking the Broncos 24-21. I have this game finishing just under the 45.5. And I have Denver as the underdog on the road covering the 2.5 points. The final Sunday afternoon game is the one of national interest, and that's the 1-2 New England Patriots minus Matt Jones potentially at the 2-1 Green Bay Packers. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on CBS. Now, pretty much anyone not getting the Broncos-Raiders game will be getting this game in the late window on CBS. That's the broadcast area for this game. The announcers are Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. The current point spread is Green Bay -9.5, and it all stems from the Mac Jones injury. Over under is set at 40.5. I have Green Bay as a result winning in a blowout 34-13. I have this game finishing over the 40.5 points, and I'm also taking Green Bay to cover the 9.5 points. On Sunday Night Football this week, the 2-1 Kansas City Chiefs led by Patrick Mahomes and the 2-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by Tom Brady in a rematch of Super Bowl 54, or rather Super Bowl 55. Although there are a lot of changes on this team. There's no Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs. There's no Rob Gronkowski for the Bucs. But the quarterbacks are still there. This game is Sunday at 8:20 p.m. Eastern on NBC. And as I said at the top, it is scheduled to play in Tampa. But if need be, because of Hurricane Ian, this game may potentially end U.S. Bank Stadium. We shall see in the coming days. The announcers for this game are Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. Main NBC stations are KSHB Channel 41 in Kansas City and WFLA News Channel 8 in Tampa. Current point spread is a pick'em, and the over-under is 45.5. This is going to be a tight ball game. I think both offenses will find some sort that there is. And that brings us to the end of week 4 with Monday Night Football and a showdown in the NFC West. As the 2-1 and defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams travel up the California coast to face Jimmy Garoppolo and the 1-2 San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. This game is Monday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And as I said, the game will be blacked out on ESPN in the Los Angeles and San Francisco markets. So the ABC television stations in both cities will be airing this game instead. And the broadcast team, as always, is Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Current point spread is the Niners -1 over under 42.5. And the Niners pretty much own the Los Angeles Rams in this series, especially in the regular season. And I see that continuing on Monday night. I have San Francisco winning 23-20. Got this game finishing just over the 42.5. And I'm taking the Niners to cover the 1-point spread or dare I say, the meager 1 point spread. So there you have it. You're all set for week number 4 in the National Football League, which gets underway in about 2.5 hours with the Bengals and the Dolphins. And we will be back on Monday with the new national rankings in college football. We'll look at the week 6 top 25 AP and coaches polls then. And we got the week that was coming up on Tuesday. We'll recap everything that happened in week 4 of the NFL. Wednesday, I'll have the week 6 college football schedule and broadcast teams. And next Thursday, my picks for week 5, the broadcast maps for the Sunday afternoon games, and the announced teams for those games. So join me again next week for all of that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell twice every time I post a vid. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin this weekend. Peace out.